Hey everybody, I am here with Aimee, a fellow clinician here at Mayfield Counseling Centers, and today we're going to be talking about relational permissions.
It's time for your Monday Minute.
So a lot of times we talk about boundaries here at Mayfield Counseling Centers, and we often think of boundaries as some kind of barrier that either prevents people from getting in or from different aspects of ourselves. But it sounds like when you talk about relational permissions, it's kind of almost like the opposite idea, that you're actually giving people permission to a deeper, more intimate level of yourself.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's almost turning the table, looking at the same thing at 180 degrees. It may be safe to talk with your sister about certain things, but you wouldn't talk about those same things with grandma or with the next door neighbor. And so giving people that access to you as a way of showing that you're willing to be vulnerable, authentic with them in that area.
It's like, so in your experience, what are some of the key things you look for people that you would give relational permission, like that deeper access to you?
I think it's really critical to identify who's safe. You know, if you know that this person's going to hold something that was painful or really exciting but can't be shared yet, you know, those life moments, trustworthiness is huge in that. If you think that you're going to share something with somebody else and they're going to go rush off and tell 6 other people, maybe they're not ready for that next passport.
I think that's so key. I know that on Mayfield's Collective, we have a video talking about green flags, kind of like the opposite idea of red flags, the things that we avoid in relationships, actually talking about things that we should look for in relationships. And trustworthiness and being able to be vulnerable and intimate and knowing that it's not going to come back and hurt you are some of the things that we look for as people we would want to have a close relationship with. And I think those kind of ideas are the things that let you know this person can know me a little deeper, know some really exciting but currently secret news. We can open up and know that it's not going to come back and cause us pain or hurt in a later time period.
Well, I think it's gotten hard, especially with social media and how, texting and all this, like everybody thinks they have full access. And I think it's hard because some of us have given everybody full access. Yes. I mean, how many people's plates of food have we seen that they've eaten at dinner, right? Now posted on some social media platform that we don't. There's nothing wrong with not telling everybody everything about who we are.
Absolutely. And I think that whether we're talking about boundaries or relational permissions, it's so important to emphasize that even if someone who society says should be safe, like family, a spouse, your children, your best friend for your whole childhood, if they've proven themselves to be unhealthy or unsafe, they betray your trust, or they seem to diminish your opinions or the things that you want, it's a-okay to say they don't get permission to be closer or more intimate with me. And it's okay to have boundaries that do provide some type of barrier between them and getting to know some of the more intimate details about you and your life. And I think that needs to be said loud and clear because oftentimes we are pressured into having closer relationships than we feel is safe.
Yeah, that's a hard thing too, to empower yourself or help empower a child or a spouse or somebody to kind of revoke that passport from somebody when they've proven that they're untrustworthy. So I think it's really important to think about the relationships in your life. What permissions have you extended? What permissions do you need to extend? And then to really look at, are there permissions that maybe you do need to pull back? And that giving permission to somebody once for one thing doesn't necessarily mean that they always get that permission. Time tells, are they safe to hold those types of permissions, and not to be afraid to change what that looks like.
Just recognize that as you evaluate your relationships and either decide to give people more permissions or to kind of pull back and maybe implement more boundaries, that doesn't have to be something that you discuss with the other person or get their approval of. It can just be dictating how you choose to open up or restrict information from certain individuals. And that's totally in your hands. So you don't ever have to even have a conversation if that's what you choose. So thank you so much, Aimee, for coming and talking about this important topic. You guys have a great rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Monday, for our next Monday Minute.